Hello! Welcome to the season premiere of Spill. This is the show where we talk about interesting topics and eat at the same time. In today's premiere episode, we will be introducing a guest to the show today. Introducing Momo.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Momo. I'm from Japan, but I've been here for quite some time. So I know him for more than 10 years.
Yeah, I just wanted to invite her onto the show because she's been a long time a part of the crew back then, and then now she's back and we're doing something different. And also today, we'll be having our usuals. This is Ryuu over here, if you didn't know already. We know Ryuu, we know both of us are going to be basically the host of most of the shows today. So yeah, let's begin with the first part of the show. Okay, how this works is that basically we'll be bringing out refreshments first. As the story goes on, we'll be bringing out more food for everyone to try. She doesn't really know what is on the table for us today, and she also brought something for us. We are looking forward to it. We're trying out different types of food, maybe things that you've never seen before.
First drink is bandung.
Yeah, exactly.
Like rose syrup with milk.
Rose syrup with milk.
Yeah, with condensed milk inside. Yeah.
More or less, it's just something that you usually drink at a mamak or something like that. Basically, a mamak is like a Indian Malaysian sort of more or less like a hawker thing. But yeah, I mean, dig in, please. Go ahead. You can grab yourself some drinks. It's pretty good drink. What do you guys think?
Sweet.
Oh well, it's Malaysia, right? Everything's sweet.
Condensed milk a bit strong.
Maybe a bit strong.
They use more rose.
Yeah, we got usually when we get this drink, we get it from like a Malay store, which is, well, they do it the best. Basically, it's one of their staple drinks. I don't think a mamak always does it the best, but it's good enough, I suppose. So this first story actually is a true story. I'm not sure if I told I probably haven't told everybody or anybody this story yet, but actually this wasn't like technically a personal experience. It was what I heard from my friends basically. So what happened was they said that they were like bored and like couldn't like think. And they were like, okay, you know what? Let's go up to Genting. Genting Highlands is a place basically up in the mountain where you have like casinos and stuff. It's very cold and stuff, and there's a lot of abandoned apartments up there. And I think there's that one particular abandoned apartment that they always like to go to. It's called the starts with an A. What's it called again?
I can't remember either.
Yes, Amber Court. But anyway, yes, it was Amber Court. You know, this place is basically known to be very haunted, like in sort of like slightly abandoned. Certain places are not abandoned, there's still residents there, but there's always been stories of like ghosts and stuff like that. I've never like personally saw any ghosts in Amber Court. It looks kind of like just like a spooky ghost town, like a zombie sort of like situation. But anyway, what happened was there was 4 of my friends. So 3 of them were technically believers, and there was this one guy in the group who is a non-believer, like really doesn't believe in any ghosts and stuff like that. So they went all the way up to Amber Court, and then they were like, okay, since you don't believe in ghosts, here is the challenge for you. We will drop you off at the abandoned part of Amber Court, and you'll stay there for 30 minutes, right? 30 minutes. And he was like, sure, why not? What do I get? They said, if you can survive without screaming or calling for any of us, we'll give you 50 ringgit each. So he was like, boy, easy money. So he was like, okay, he took the challenge basically. And then, you know, they drove up all the way, they dropped him off, and then he was like, okay, I'll call you in 30 minutes and we'll be done. So they were like, he's not gonna survive, he's not gonna make it. Then after that, they went back down to a rest stop for a bit before they picked him up. So on the way down, they were like, sort of like, you know what? There's worse things than ghosts. There's drug addicts. There's like robbers. There's like, it's dark and it's abandoned. Something could happen to him, and if he dies, it's gonna be worse for us. You know, we're still like kids, and we still don't want to go to jail. They were, you know what? Screw it, turn back. So they kind of like, you know what? Let's just bring him back in and tell him like there's worse things than ghosts. When they went all the way back up and they went to the same place they dropped him off, he was still standing there, like he didn't move from that spot. Then they were like, oh, I think he saw something. Then they were like, oh, finally we got him, you know, we got a new believer and stuff like that. So they came up to him, and then he was just standing still, not doing anything. Then they kind of like walked over to him. It's like, you good, man? It's like, you cold? Like you like do anything? He was just frozen, solid, like the typical person who just saw something. So he was like, he's just shaking his head, he was just looking down. He was like, okay, fine. They brought him inside the car. Then he was like, you know what? I'm so sorry, man. We didn't want to do this to you. We didn't think this would be the worst and your first and the worst time ever that you've seen a ghost. And he was just quiet all the way. And then his friend was like, brought him in. It's like, he's really cold as well because, you know, Genting is really cold. So they thought like, maybe he's like, you know, maybe he got like possessed or something. Okay, whatever. Let's bring him all the way back down to a mamak. Sit down, like buy him a meal, then make him feel better. So they went all the way back down to the mamak, sat down there, and then they were like chilling, they were eating. But he didn't order anything. He didn't like eat. He was just like frozen. Like he looks like he was like just traumatized. So on the next table to them, there was actually a person you call an imam, or basically it's the priest of the Muslim faith, we will put it that way. So this guy was like staring at that table, and then he was like angry at them for some reason. So all of a sudden the imam walked up to the table and asked them like, who's your friend? And he was like, huh? What do you mean? Then after that he was like, where do you get him from? They were like, what are you talking about, you madman? Then after that it's like, you better go back and send him back there, and don't come back until you've sent him back. Then they were like, okay. Then the Malay guy in the group was like, okay, we need to listen because this guy knows what he's talking about. He's an imam, he knows, and we should go back. And then they looked at the friend, they were like, oh, maybe he really is possessed. They're like, okay, fine. So they packed up quickly, went up there, and they were driving all the way back up. They were like panicking. They were like talking to the friend, you good, bro? You just okay? We'll bring you back, you know. After that, the guy in the car, the Malay guy was like praying a little bit. It was like, you know. So they walked all the way to Amber Court, right? And then in the distance, they saw somebody. They were like, who the hell is that? Same spot where they dropped him off, everything. As they got closer, they realized it was their friend who was standing over there. And he was waving his hand. It was like, you know, the finger and everything. He was like, wait, what? You guys had, you know, it's been like more than an hour. They were like, huh? Then they like looked over and the friend was gone. So at that very freaking moment, they realized that they picked up a doppelganger and they freaked the hell out. So they picked up the guy was like screaming, I've been waiting here for an hour, there was nothing to do here, I'm cold, I'm hungry, give me my money. And everyone in the car was just quiet all the way back down. And then when they came back to our dorm area, it was like a house, all three of the dudes ran into the house into one room. And then I just saw them running. I was like, what's wrong with them? Then the other guy was like, I have no idea, but they owe me $50 each. So yeah, that was the story of a doppelganger, like literally a doppelganger. I don't know how true this story is, but when I saw my friends, those three dudes, they were like screwed in the head. They were like, I don't want to talk about this. Even until today, they don't talk about it at all.
How do you found out about the story?
The Chinese guy who
the Chinese guy told you.
He told me what they told him, and he said there's a lot of horror. They just didn't want to give him $50 each. I think in every folklore, there's always a doppelganger kind of story. It's like if you see your doppelganger, you kind of like die, or you're about to die. I don't know if they have like something like that in Japan today.
I think if you see 3 of them, then you will die.
3 of them. Isn't that like a hellhound or something? Right after I heard that story, I was like, you guys are idiots. I'm never going back up there with you ever again. It's all in uni one, right? All this thing always happened to us in uni one. It's always a uni story that gets us. But anyway, yeah, let's move on to the second story, and our second story comes from Ryuu.
Okay, so this was back when I was in college. I was still in college, and this is a story from my friend. I personally have never experienced anything, but so back in back in college, I used to go to the lab, like just stay for long hours past 12 a.m. So I would be at the lab from 12 a.m. till 5 a.m. and walk back on my own at night just by myself, and I was fine, never felt a thing. But this is a story from my friend who was using the lab together with me, and he said that he usually takes naps. There's a sofa outside the door, behind the door and outside the lab, and he usually just sleeps there when he's tired. So just one time he took a nap there, and then he couldn't move. It was like sleep paralysis, I guess.
Sleep paralysis, okay.
Yeah. So he couldn't move at all, and he just suddenly heard a woman screaming, and it was from a distance. Ooh. And it just kept getting nearer and nearer and nearer towards his ear, and then it just disappeared. It was getting louder and it disappeared. Just like that. That's it. That was the story. 1 second feel.
Hey, that was kind of screwed, man. Like seriously though. Like now that's a pretty good one. I would have freaked me out, even though I'm not really afraid of ghosts. But
Yeah.
holy wait, so is your uni haunted? Your university, is it haunted or?
They moved to a new building after I graduated, but they did say a few, because the college, it's like in a bunch of shop lots, so they don't have their own campus. So different buildings have different haunted stories, and usually the most haunted was, they call it Block M, where the art studio with the mannequins are.
Oh, the mannequins.
Yeah. I don't remember any stories from that one. There probably is some, but I forgot. A bit more personal story was just the lab one. They said the lab, because the lab is in the main building with the reception and stuff, the management office. They said it's haunted, but I think it's just because a lot of students go there to work overnight for rendering their
trying to
animation
scare the
stuff.
kids from staying late. They're trying to scare them away from using the facilities for free, is it? Kids
But the stories are from students.
Ghost stories are always like that, but that was pretty freaky, not gonna lie. That was really, really freaky. Moving on to the next part of the show. I guess we could bring it out now. I hope you like it.
What are the chances that she hasn't had any of these?
I have no
Can
idea.
I see already?
I mean, of course you can. You can look. What are the chances you have never eaten any of this before?
Yeah, I like those.
So yeah, just a little bit of an introduction to this. To be honest, I have no idea what some of these are named. They're just colorful. They're delicious. They're mostly Malay-based kuehs.
These are more Chinese-based actually. The only Malay-based kueh is that on there.
The green one. Sorry, Malaysian, but I don't remember the names. What is it? Onde. Okay, there we go. They know it more better. Okay, even she knows it more. All right, I failed.
You didn't know onde.
No, I forgot the name. It's like I was like trying to like maybe I was like gulas. All right then, let's dig in. Come on, grab yourself one. Grab any.
I've never tried this.
You've never tried this one?
No.
You try the one that you've already tried. Okay, fair enough. How about you? Here you go. Your favorite? Okay. I you know what? Because I've never really seen one that's this color. Jesus, I'm pretty sure it tastes.
It looks like red bean inside.
Yeah, I guess it looks like red. Okay. Taste test. Well, okay, I was just gonna say taste test, but everyone just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna eat, so I'm just gonna try this one. This is good. This is good. This is good. Really. Not because of for camera purposes, but it's good. Do we want a ASMR or something? I don't know. No, we're just gonna
it's already
eat.
a bit of ASMR.
So this next one is actually a more local-based story. It's something that people don't really talk about. You can't really say their name actually, because in folklore tales, right? If you say its name, it will come after you. Like wherever you are, it will always find you and it will torment you. It's basically something that we call a B times 2 or B kuasa dua, which is like a flying head basically with entrails at the bottom. I don't know why Asian ghosts and Asian demons are so bloody and gory. Every time they have like some lady in red with her guts out, and then now you have flying guts with a head, stuff like that. But this is a true story that my friend has told me about when he was in the army training. Something that we used to do in this country, but not anymore. It was one particular night on the last day of training where they were doing the typical thing of staying up late. It was like they were just trying to bond in the last day, talking about ghost stories, just like us right now talking about ghost stories, but not at night. They kind of like had this challenge whereby they said that let's just call out this thing's name. Like it doesn't matter, right? It's not real, right? When we're like army guys, we're like strong, we're buff, we can beat that flying head up, stuff like that. So they were like, okay, fine, let's do it. So my friend started off first, so he started calling the name out, like B times 2. I won't say it should I say it?
No.
Should I say? Will it find us, the flying head? So he was like basically screaming the name B kuasa dua, and stuff like that. And then he was like, see, nothing happened. Then all three of them started just talking this thing so hard. It's like your mom and stuff like that, the typical bullshit, and they were like laughing, having a good time. It's like this is all just for fun. And then the next thing you know, they heard like something on the roof, like because the army camp's roof is basically like a zinc, so they heard something like bounce on the roof, like boom, like roll like right on top of them. They were like, shit. Yeah, okay, so for more context, the army camp is usually inside the forest, and this is where these things resides. All these things always reside inside the forest or in like secluded like villages and stuff like that. Places where it always happens where there's black magic. Then they were like, is this really happening? And it was like, no, it's just like, it's a mango, it's fine, we're good, nothing's gonna happen, it's not real. And then they heard again on the rooftop. It was like, okay, we're back, sorry about that. It's very weird because we were just talking about ghosts and stuff, and all of a sudden everything just died. Like the PC over there just died, the camera died, and it was like, what the heck is going on? I guess that's something you get when you talk about ghost stories, I suppose, that was supposedly real. Basically what happened after they heard the zinc sound, they were like, you know what, let's just continue talking about these ghost stories and stuff. It's just in our heads, it's just imagination, stuff like that. Right as they finished like saying all this stuff, they heard something that felt like 2 feet walking on the roof. When someone walked, it's like bends and bends, and then they were like, oh shoot. They were like, okay, you know what, let's go to sleep. They were sleeping inside the barracks, and there was like a window, and unfortunately my friend was facing the freaking window. You know what, I'll look this side, I'll just look at my friend, when we sleep. Right as they started to go to sleep, there was this thing whereby they all of them felt the exact same thing at the same time. So every time they were about to fall asleep, they would have this image or this vision of somebody who was standing right outside their barracks door. All of them would have the same vision. They specifically see this woman just standing there, and then it's like they kind of like jolt awake, and all of them would just look at the door immediately, and there was nothing. And they were like, okay, maybe we spooked ourselves too much, stuff like that. And then my friend was like also saying like sometimes when he tried to sleep, every time he closed his eyes, he would see this woman like in front of his face, and like she was like about to scream like that, like literally in front, and he'll keep jolting up awake non-stop. So this happened like across the entire night, and then at one point one of his friends just started like screaming in his sleep, and apparently he managed to sleep, but then he had a very bad nightmare that this lady was trying to choke him, like literally choke him out, right? And then when that was happening, they kind of called the imam for that barracks as well, and then they came over, they tried to pray over him. And then my friend said like when they were like trying to get him back into his senses and stuff like that, he, for a split second, he looked at the door, and he actually saw a lady standing there, like exact same thing that he saw in his sleep. This must be that thing, but in his full form, his body and stuff like that. Because like from that day on, he never said the name ever again. Sometimes, even though you feel like it's not real, like he's a person of science, you just can't explain this type of thing.
Was he the one that did the thing the most?
No, all of them had the good time, making fun of these girls, like, you're so headless, but let's just, cook it up, or I don't know what stuff like that. They were making a lot of bad jokes about this thing, and I guess they learned their lesson. Like, don't mess with these things. And again, a lot of like Malaysian based folklore, ghosts or demons and stuff like that, they are based off like black magic. All these villagers, they like to dwell in black magic, people say. I don't really believe in like black magic and stuff, but sometimes, just things that you can't prove through science, you just wonder. Moving on to the next one.
Okay, so this story again is not my story. I heard it from my younger sister, and she was on a trip with her friends, and they had an Airbnb. One of their friends can sort of sense things, see things. I don't know how much he can sense those things, but why?
Continue.
I think the Airbnb was quite large, so they had like a upstairs and a downstairs. I think it's because it was a big group of friends, right? So he was that guy. He could see. I mean, he was a bit thirsty, so he wanted someone to go in the kitchen to get him a drink. But then he didn't want to go there, and they keep trying to pry the reason out of him. And then he finally let out the reason. He said there's a kid in the kitchen,
Oh hell no, man.
Yeah, and there was like, there's no kids here, don't joke with us. But yeah.
If it's
short
kids,
story.
holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, it was a kid in the kitchen, he said. Let's say he might have been drunk. I don't know, but he
Okay,
can see.
that's the other part. You might have been drunk. I've heard my fair share of stories about ghost kids. I have quite a few friends who can see stuff. She knows some of them who can see stuff. And every time they see something, they go from this very cheerful demeanor and all of a sudden they become the most quiet and the most angry person in the room. And they were like, let's go. Stuff like that. So yeah, in my uni, they used to have this ghost that is like, she seems like she's a Victorian kind of like little girl and her mother. So my friend who can see stuff, he always sees this little kid around that floor. And there was one time that we went ghost hunting, and then we turned off all the lights and we turned on the flash of our cameras because we just need to, like, you know, just test. And then if you release flash, apparently you can release some EMF, yeah, well, whatever that ghost ghoulie things. But yeah, we kind of like did some flashes, and all of a sudden he said, guys, stop. Then we were like, why? They said she just ran past all of you when the flashes went off. And I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, we won't do this no more. But yeah, that was a quick story. Yeah, she just ran past all of us. When you flash, he just saw it. Oh boy. Anyway, before we begin the next part of the story, I totally forgot that we should be bringing out the food, the next big thing. Introducing the beauty of tonight. Look at that. I don't know if you can actually look. It can't even fit the frame of the camera. Holy moly. I mean, yeah, we'll get our camera guy there.
There's the condensed milk.
Oh yeah, we have condensed milk as well. But yes, this is the Leaning Tower of Malaysia. Well, technically speaking, it's this is what we call the roti tissue. So yeah, this is a roti tissue. Basically, you kind of just need to pour this down. This is freaking condensed milk, diabetes level 1000. But yeah, and you just eat this with a bunch of friends. So yeah, I mean, we could dig in right now. And as we dig in, we would also like to hear some stories from our guests, because we haven't heard her stories yet. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I've never seen any one of them, but there's a lot of stories when I was in primary school. So I think in Malaysia also have like toilet ghosts.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them.
So in Japan there's a famous one, Hanako-san. We call it Hanako-san in the bathroom. So Hanako-san is her name, and she lives in the bathroom of the school. And she's in the third cubicle of the girls' toilet. So when you knock the third cubicle of the girls' toilet, then she will reply to you, like when you knock 3 times. Then she say hello,
okay.
and then you knock 3 times again, and then ask, is it Hanako-san? She say yes. Then you knock 3 times again. Then you ask, can I come in? Then she say yes. And then when you open the door, then she will pull you into the toilet bowl. That's the story. I've never seen Hanako-san, of course.
It'll be in the toilet bowl.
Yeah. But when I was in primary school, everyone was so scared of her. So I think when I was in Form 1 or 2, everyone goes into toilet together.
Okay.
We make a pair and go into the toilet cubicle together. We got scolded by teacher, like, you shouldn't go to the toilet with your friend. Yeah, that's the toilet
Toilet bowl. Does she stay in the last toilet or any particular? The third one. I think Malaysia has something similar, right? But on the last toilet, like nobody. It's like taboo to go to the last toilet.
I think there's many different variations of the story. Like I heard one where you go into the toilet and then there will be a ghost that will ask you how many pieces of toilet paper do you want, you know, like the roll that has like that you can tear, and then she'll ask you if you want two, if you answer 2, 3, 4. If you answer 4 in Chinese, 4 means death, so you die on the spot. But if you say 3 or 2, she'll give you 2 days to live. She'll give you 3 days to live. Either way, you die.
This is like The Ring, but toilet paper edition.
Yes.
Basically.
What if you don't use paper? You just use the bidet.
Then you're free to go.
I don't know.
Maybe that's why no one has died from this ghost, because it's the modern age. Everyone has like a little button that cleans your ass, I suppose. No more toilet, so she's like she's out of business. She can't get any more souls.
This one also my childhood story, like what's the name? The sleep mouth lady. Sleep mouth lady. Do you have in Malaysia as well? No. So like basically this is a pretty lady. She always show up in the evening time, and then she's wearing a long white color dress and wearing a face mask.
Okay.
Yeah, with a long black hair.
Yeah.
And then when you see this lady, she will ask you, "Am I pretty?" And then you say yes. Then she will take off her mask, and then she will ask you, "Am I still pretty?" And then her mouth is like this, stick to the side. Yeah, and then when you scream or you say no, then she will just kill you with the scissors.
Oh, I know this story.
That's the famous story.
This is a very famous story.
Yeah. So when I was in primary school, I used to run Japanese choreography, and this choreography lesson is until like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. until the sunset. So when I go home, I was so scared. So every time when I see someone wearing a mask, I just run to my house. That was my childhood ghost story.
Big sponsor is us. We are basically going to be sponsoring ourselves this time around because we don't really have a sponsor yet. Basically what you can do to support us is you can just sub to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitch, maybe even go into our Patreon, which we are about to open up. So basically our Patreon has like the typical things. You get rewards, you get like Discord names, you can support us with some amounts depending on what you want. We have like 3 tiers currently that we're looking to make, and all 3 tiers we basically do have particular rewards for each person. If you sub to like a $5 tier, sub to a $10 tier, there's different rewards that you can get. So we are still building that up right now. We're not too sure what exactly we'll be offering you guys in full, but it will appear as we continue on. So yeah, you can check that out very soon. Links in bio. If you guys want to support us, really, we'll be very happy to get the support. It's not built up yet, but yeah, hopefully that works out for us in the long run. But yeah, okay then, back to the show. Anyway, we're back with the next part of the show, which is basically the food. We have something that our guest has brought with us today. Something that is from Japan?
Yeah.
More or less. More or less,
It's not the traditional Japanese food like sushi, but still a Japanese one.
Still a Japanese one. Okay. Well, let's see what is.
So this curry, the bread,
Yeah.
and this is Japanese mee goreng.
Okay, that looks nice.
Put some inside. If you read the mayonnaise, can you
Oh, mayo we got.
put some
Yeah.
here?
Ooh. This thing, just like that. Please. We'll grab some food. I've never really. Wait, no. Isn't this like what do you call that? Maggi.
This was the thing that I said was disgusting.
Why does this remind me of a school student's food?
Yeah, it's something like that lah.
It's a school student food. Okay, what do you think? She just went quiet. What do you think?
Weird.
It's weird. Okay, I'm in. Not as bad as you say though. I think it's quite okay.
Yeah, not bad.
It's actually quite okay. Yeah, that's something new that you can see right there. This really reminds me of something I would do if I when I'm a broke student. Exactly, I would do something like this. Oh, that's wild. I mean, is this what you all always eat usually on like a, I don't know, like on a daily?
When I'm ready to cook.
So this will be the meal. Okay, is there like an option whereby you can like fry this? It's like you put it all in like this, and you put like a batter away, then you like kind of like fry it like a what do you call it? A French toast.
I've never tried that, but
That actually sounds good, right? French toast bread with.
I think I saw a version that's like hot dog bun with yakisoba in it.
yeah. The one selling at the shop is.
Oh wow. Okay. That's something you don't need every day. Yeah, we'll just close up the story with just one or two more personal stories that I've heard of before. So basically, in my school, there was a security guard who was always alone, and he rounds the school pretty much, and he always has the best stories. Like, for example, one of the stories that he talked about, in my old school, there was this saying that there was 4 kids who died underneath the main hall itself. They got locked in by accident, and it was a school holiday. So when they were locked in, everyone went home, and they were stuck there for like a week. And then there was this one teacher who came in, and then he found their bodies downstairs in the hall, and they were lined up together because they kind of accepted their fate and died. So that's basically the legend of the 4 ghosts in the school. So there was this one time during my school's concert whereby the kids were taking photos near this particular tree, which was also haunted, which also nobody can cut down for some reason. Every time they try to cut it down, things break down. But basically what happened was they took a photo in front of this tree. There was 3 of them, I believe, and then after they took the photo, they just had a quick look, and then in that photo it was not just 3 of them, but there was 4 different shadows right next to them, and they were all very student they were you can see the shadow had his arm on the guy's shoulder, and there was 3 others taking a group photo. So it didn't just end there. After they started circulating this image of this ghost, then there was another set of ghosts. It's just this particular night, this particular concert night, where all the ghosts just freaking came out of nowhere. So right after that, there was a incident whereby there was something we call rela, a police guard thing that does take care of our school and stuff when there's concerts. All of a sudden they kind of went towards our field where we had football and stuff like that, and they made a barrier around it. I was there, so all of a sudden they just started blocking off, and then they said no one can enter this field, no one can even remotely you don't even think about it. And then me and my friends were asking them what's going on, is there something up? And they refused to tell us until we found that security guard who straight up told us, if you look in the middle of the field, there's a lady standing right there, and she is what we call the Pontianak. Yeah, and she's just right there. And apparently there was a couple who went to the middle of the field. They were doing their couple stuff there, and one of them, they started having too much noise, too much fun, and then it kind of messed with something that didn't like them there. And then apparently the girl got possessed. I'm not sure. There's always someone gets possessed. That's the thing. And then they rushed her off. But then after they took her away, that Pontianak was still standing in the middle of the field. Imagine that. So after that, me and my friends were oh, really? They were kind of tried to look in the middle of the field, but we couldn't really see anything. But we could literally see from one end of the field to another, there's all just police lined up, blocked off. So yeah, that was one. And then this particular night, I think it was the same one, my brother had an incident as well. So back then it was the PSP when it first came out, it was the Sony PlayStation Portable. It was playing his games and stuff. And then he was playing with his friends. Then he was just concentrating on the game, and all of a sudden he saw this kid walk right next to him and sit down and watch him play. So it's just a kid watching him play his game. It's okay, never mind, great. So he's just playing his game, play, and all of a sudden his other friend came and sat right where the kid was. Then he was where'd the kid go? Then his friend was what kid? And it also connects. This is another connection story. So basically our school also has, apparently it was a real incident whereby this cleaner lady, she had a kid, and then he drowned in the pond. But there was a pond in our school, and then she felt so bad that she didn't take care of the kid that she hanged herself eventually in the closet as well, the janitor's closet. So that's a combo of a story, and then it links up again. So after the kid, there was another incident at the back of the school. So basically, it was a bunch of kids again challenging the ghosts. You don't do that, okay? You never do this. Right? So basically, they were like just saying like, because there were so many things happening at one time, and then they were like saying like, this isn't real. Like, if there really is a ghost out there, if all this was real, then you should show yourself. So this guy, after he did that, nothing happened obviously at first. He was like, okay, fine. Then he went off to the back of the hall, and he just did his own thing. And all of a sudden, he saw like this lady who was not supposed to be there, just kind of like walk slowly in front of him with a little kid, and he freaking freaked out after that. He was like delirious, and the teacher had to pull him away. But in that one particular night in my school, everything just triggered. Don't know what happened. All the ghosts decided to come up for a party, and it was wild.
Was it the same kid that sat down next to your brother?
Yeah, apparently that's the kid that belongs to the mother, basically. Yeah, so there was one crazy night that I remember every single story in the book just appeared. And I think I saw that image of the 4 black shadows with the 3 kids. I think it was passed on to my friend. And I believe that that particular night as well, there was a picture of someone inside a car, and he was alone. He said he was driving alone, but then behind him, you can see a shadow of another student in school uniform. So it also links back to those 4 kids again. So it's like that entire night, just the ghost just decided to like just go crazy that one night. Just boom. So yeah, that's a crazy personal story. Luckily I wasn't part of it. My brother was. He saw that thing. So that concludes this season premiere of Spill. I hope you guys enjoyed the food. I hope you guys enjoyed the stories. Stay tuned for episode 1, which will be coming out very soon, where we'll have more guests, more interesting topics, yes, more food, and a pretty good time. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.